This is like the world's most expensive app ever in the history of the Apple ecosystem. Hey, it's Chris, and I haven't done a What's on my iPhone video in quite a while, so now that I've got the iPhone 10, I've had it for a couple weeks, this seemed like the perfect opportunity. I'm gonna talk about 3 things in today's video. Of course, the apps that I use the most, which are on my homepage and my dock. I'm gonna talk about the widgets that I've got set up, and I'm also gonna talk about the wallpaper that I've got. So let's start with the dock, the 4 apps and icons that are along the bottom of the screen. So from left to right, I've got iMessages, Astro, the Apple Calendar, and Things. So what I did was switch around where the phone and messages apps were on my home screen and dock because I don't make that many phone calls compared to how many texts that I send. So that was more important, so that's what's down in my dock. Astro is my email app of choice, and I think that's changed since the last video that I made. I've been using it basically since then. I'm pretty sure it happened right after that because it's really powerful. It's made by a startup, so it's kind of under the radar. But the cool thing is that it's got artificial intelligence, like a bot, built in to help you do all kinds of things, and that's really cool. The calendar app I used to use was called TimePage, and it was really awesome, looked amazing. I called it the best looking calendar app out there, and I still agree with that. But the thing is, I found that the default Apple apps just seem to work a little bit better than any of the third-party apps that are out there. Apple's apps are definitely more boring. They're just kind of down to earth, really plain and simple. They don't always look better, but they do seem to just work a little bit better. Things is an interesting app. It's my go-to to-do list. I've got it on my phone and my iPad, and since it's on my phone, it's also on my Apple Watch. I use it there quite a bit too, but I don't have it on my Mac. This is like the world's most expensive app ever in the history of the Apple ecosystem. Probably not, but it is really expensive. Like, your jaw kind of drops when you see the price, and I seriously debated, should I actually download that? Is it really worth that much money? So it's $50 for the Mac version for a to-do list app, which explains why I didn't buy it there because I'm not gonna use it on my Mac very much. $20 for the iPad version, and $10 for the phone/Apple Watch version. I will say this, it's really well designed, and design really matters to me, so that's a definite bonus. It's got some really cool features that you don't see elsewhere, but at the end of the day, it's still a to-do list app. Could I recommend it to you? If you have the money to burn, yeah, like, go for it. But there are other to-do list apps out there that could probably get the job done for you, but I do like this one the best out of those that I've tried. Now, I don't use it every day. I'm not the type of person who dumps everything into the to-do list app and that just like runs my world. That's not how it works. I kind of run on Notes, the calendar app, and the to-do list, but I do put stuff in here when it's really important. So besides the dock, I've got 20 apps on my home screen, 5 rows of 4 apps. I've got 1 free row at the bottom because I don't want to fill it up just to fill it up. I try to only put stuff there that I actually use. My rule has always been the stuff that I use most often kind of stays down at the bottom of the screen, and the stuff that I use a little bit less kind of goes up towards the top because it's a little bit harder to get to. So on the top row is Safari, Sheets, Photos, and Phone. There's not a lot to say about those, but I will say I use Sheets instead of Numbers because it's a little bit easier to share and collaborate with people, but I do like the way Numbers looks better. It's just not as easy to collaborate with other people with. But I will say that the Google app doesn't always look or work the best on iOS devices. On the next row down, it's News, Cast, Instapaper, and Apple Music. The Apple News app definitely replaced Flipboard and any other similar app for me. I open it several times a day, and I really like it. I do listen to quite a few podcasts, and the Cast app, although I think it's called Pocket Cast, is my favorite app just because it has the best interface, in my opinion. I've got Instapaper on there. I recently switched back to that from Pocket. I kind of liked Pocket better, although I kind of hate both of them, honestly. They're just not quite right. But Pocket quit working for me. It wasn't syncing, I couldn't add stuff anymore, so I'm back with Instapaper right now. And yes, I'm an Apple Music user. I used to be a Spotify user. I loved Spotify. I don't love Apple Music quite as much. It's always improving though, which is cool, but the polish just isn't there. It's missing several cool features that are like exclusive to Spotify. But here's the thing, if I can listen to my Andy Mineo, which I can, then I'm good. I have to say though, Spotify just blew it with their privacy policy. That's the reason that our family jumped off and went with Apple Music. On the next row down, it's 1Password, Amazon, B&H, and Deliveries. Now when it comes to password management, it seems like LastPass is really like the trendiest thing out there right now. I know they do a lot of advertising. I know they sponsored a video on this channel, but honestly, right now, I'm really loving 1Password. It's my favorite. You have to pay a little bit more for it, but it works really, really well for me. What I like about it is just like the little nuances, the things that the company put in that make it really easy to use. I really like that I can set up other devices by scanning a QR code. That makes it really simple and easy. And I like that I can have my list of favorites. That's like a huge thing for me. Amazon and B&H, those are really self-explanatory. I just do a lot of shopping on there, especially B&H for video gear. And by the way, if you're interested in any of my gear, including my camera gear, then check out the links down in the description. Now, Deliveries, that's what I use to track my packages. Obviously, as a tech reviewer, I get a lot of packages, but so does everybody these days. So yeah, if you're looking for a good package tracker, this is great. The interface is awesome, and it works really well with the Apple Watch. Actually, this is one that I use on all my devices, including the Mac. and they all stay synced up. In the next row, it's NeuBible, Apple Notes, VSCO, and Clips. Now, NeuBible, which is spelled weird, it's NEU-Bible, is different than other Christian apps because it actually has good design, which is really, again, really important. I already said that. So that's pretty cool. The Apple Notes app is basically where I store my brain these days. If it has to do with daily tech, anything that's written, any business stuff, sponsorships, partnership stuff, I just put it all in Apple Notes. And I've got several different folders. It's not the best notes app in the world, kind of like Apple Music. It's not the best music app in the world, or the calendar app, not the best calendar app in the world, but they are improving. I can see noticeable improvements when they update their software. And so I put my stuff there because I'm really hardcore into the Apple ecosystem, and it's just going to work. VSCO, you guys know about that. I don't even have to say anything. It's just my photo editor of choice right now. Clips is taking up space on my homepage, even though I don't really use it, but I want to use it. It's one of those. I'm like aspiring to use it. It's kind of like iMovie for the phone generation. Really easy to edit together clips, but they're squares, so I can't use it like professionally, but I could use it on Instagram. I want to use it, but I just haven't done it yet. But it's there because I'm gonna use it. I might use it someday. It's possible that I might open it once or twice, like a year from now. Basically, it's just taking up space. On the final row of my home screen, it's Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and the YouTube Creator Studio. Now, these are some of my most used apps, and that's why they're closer to the bottom. There's not a lot to say about those. Everybody knows what those are, but I will say that I am a YouTube Red subscriber. I signed up for that, and it's been pretty worth it. I don't really watch a lot of YouTube Red content until they make a daily tech show, but yeah, YouTube Red. Now, there are two other apps that I use quite a bit, like especially when I'm bored. I kind of default to these apps instead of playing a game or something, but I don't put them on my homepage because I can't find two other apps that I use enough to put on there. I don't want to have an incomplete row. Maybe that's kind of weird. But it's Product Hunt and Uncrate. Product Hunt is just like tech discovery. You can vote up stuff. It's kind of cool. A lot of startup stuff. And the other one is Uncrate. And Uncrate is just like really cool stuff for guys. They got tech on there. They got other stuff like architecture. And it's just a cool distraction. Of course, I've got a ton of other apps. They live on the next screen in a bunch of different folders. I'm not gonna talk about that because they're kind of boring. It's like smart home apps, stuff for my lights, stuff for my sprinklers, my robots, robot vacuum, by the way, bank apps, nothing fun or crazy. So the widgets that I've got set up are Things, Dark Sky, IFTTT, Deliveries, Hue, the battery levels, and VSCO. Dark Sky has always been my weather app of choice. It's always seemed to be just a little bit more accurate than other things. When it tells me it's gonna rain, then it almost always rains. But I actually end up interacting with it more on my Apple Watch because I've got it set as a glance what the temperature is, and then if I click on that, it gives me more information. So I don't need it on my homepage, which is why it lives in the widgets, and sometimes I occasionally look at it. Honestly, I don't use the widgets all that much. Tell me if you do. I have TTT, which is if this, then that app. I always want to use it, I want to like it, but I can never find anything really useful to do with it. So it sits there, kind of like the Clips app, never being used. This is an unused widget, basically. I should probably delete it. The Hue app, though, which is for the Philips Hue smart lights, I do actually use that quite a bit because it's funny, in my house, I've got Philips Hue stuff everywhere, but in the studio, I've got all LifeX stuff. So it's kind of like a battle of the brands. VSCO, I was actually surprised to see that when I was doing some notes for this video today, because I don't remember putting that there. I think it self-installed itself in that widget slot, but I'm probably gonna delete it. It looks kind of useful because it's like edit your last photo in a tap, but still, if I didn't put it there, I don't want it there. So let me briefly mention wallpaper. People are always asking me like, what's the wallpaper in your videos? 99% of the time, it comes from an app called Wallpaper, but it's spelled weird. It's WLPPR, and it's just full of satellite images. So satellite images of Earth or of Mars or stuff in space. There's all kinds of stuff. There's like categories like man-made or drone shots. Really great content, really nice interface, no ads, which a lot of wallpaper apps are just pure crap. This is not like that. This is like a premium one. It's just a really good way to keep your phone looking fresh and updated. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to link all those up down in the description, so just hit rewind, you'll figure out what they are. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe because there's lots of extra videos like this. If you want to check out the main uploads of the week, that happens every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.